Hey everybody, and welcome to another RCT2 review. Continue our head-to-head 10 review series. This is round number 3 and match number 2. This is Void Extraction Research Base, so we are heading off to space. This is built by AvanineCommuter at 80%, so almost a solo park. 15% to Suormot, and 5% to Steve. So we've got a pretty interesting map here. For one, we're in space, so if we zoom out, we can see the whole thing here. Pretty impressive, just in general. First of all, I like the color about it. A lot of times with space parks, you see a lot of kind of white and gray and very typical kind of metal things. But there's a lot of really fun color in here, especially with the landscape. It's kind of like blue lower layer, and this red rocks and things with purple waterfalls and everything. But let's get into it a little further because there's some pretty cool stuff here. So, as the name implies, this is the research base for the extraction of void, which is this black dripping substance here. And here is our coaster that is called the void extraction or experimentation test. A couple things you see right off the bat here is this great scanner right here with 4D coaster that goes back and forth. And hopefully you caught a little bit of audio there of the launch happening as the great kind of LSM screech kind of sound as it takes off, which really love that. There's a little bit of narrative audio as well that you can probably pick up a little bit behind my talking that is basically talking about applying the void compound to the subjects. So I guess they're doing some experiments on people to see what this void does. But it's a pretty cool layout actually, and I love the way that they've incorporated these drips and everything, and these kind of curved tendril type kind of supports and lines. Really nice use of the new ride pieces as well. So we got our climbing and diving corners here. Pretty cool as well, changing the different colors here. So we got this like solid black sections here with these blue rails in some areas. So it's kind of neat just to see the adjustments as the ride layout goes along. This loop around the station is pretty neat. And the ride's long too. It runs for quite a long time. It's got, I think, at least 4 trains looking at the whole thing, but we're kind of still cruising around with this one here up and over top of this sort of purple and pink wild looking area, which I really like that look. Big corkscrew here at the end, then wrapping around the this Q area on here up into the diagonal brakes. So really making use of those new pieces, which is cool. Architecturally, the station is super neat. There's a lot of really cool just built sections here. We got some half diagonals going on. We've got a lot of just little kind of antennas and other gunk that you would expect from space park. All these with this research base kind of vibe. It's got all these pipes coming through here. Very kind of space agey look to the whole thing as well, and using the kind of metal grating pathway, which I think always looks pretty good in these instances here. It's quite a clean design too, especially even when you get down into some of this landscaping here with this kind of crackled blue color here, kind of going off into, I guess, what is the void. I don't know if this is all meant to be void or if it's just kind of blackness of the map, but I really like how this blurs into the red, and then the whole thing kind of climbs up into the built environment on top of it. But it looks really nice. And then you go over further here, and we get to some really nice colors, and just a lot of really kind of vibrant looks to the whole thing. It's very layered, so you got the pathway down here on the bottom with peeps walking on that. Then we go up a layer here, and then we have our kind of pathway up and over to the ride station. And then here, which we haven't really even looked at yet, we got multiple different layers of built stuff. So, right here we've got this hangar that has this pretty cool machine going on here. And if we spin around to the other side, we get a lot more interesting stuff. So like some cutaways down here, working with this void, so really making use of that flat black color, or void color that we have to work with. I got some pretty neat conveyors going on here with ride track and ride vehicles, and kind of different blocks and things, which I love this, where it comes in one shape, this gets crushed, and then it comes out in another shape. Really neat use of very clever design work. But then you go up here a little further and you have these kind of cutaways of this interior space. So we kind of have the idea that this is kind of showing us half of this building or whatever, and you can kind of see inside to these control centers and different command areas. I love the detail on this all the way up to these hanging lights, track lights on the ceiling. Just really kind of neat looking on the whole thing. Here's our curved staircase, which checks that box. No handrails, so it's obviously sci-fi because how sci-fi works. I mentioned last time in one of the videos about this pneumatic transit vehicle that was created forever ago, and it's funny how it keeps popping up into all sorts of uses that just aren't its main original use. But this is kind of perfect for this. So the intention, I guess, here is that this is kind of like the container for transporting all of this void, and you see it everywhere in this map, and it actually looks really, really nice through the whole thing. Lots of other cool little details here, like here we've got this little Galaxy Express 777 ride vehicle that's just kind of set here. It's got some little technical looking stuff to it. We got the forklifts driving all around. All these kind of nice yellow industrial cranes and things like that. Again, I like the way that the piping here mimics the shape of the map. That's pretty cool, too. We got all the different colored boxes here with the black void and stacked in a way that just looks really nice in general. It kind of feels that busy and cluttered without actually being kind of messy cluttered. I think that works pretty well. Then you go in here a little bit and you have some other bits and pieces here with the colored glass too. This little lift is used in almost every one of these maps, it feels like, so far. We've seen this quite often in a lot of things. Go down here a little further and we've got the kind of test chambers going on here. We got some clickable security here. This is the head scientist. We got the clickable maintenance guy here that says test subject 95A is promising. So maybe a little bit concerning activities going on here in this extraction base, perhaps. Here, I guess, answers our question about the black edges of the map here. So it is intended to be the void that's getting kind of sucked up into the pipes here for their use. I really love this building right here with this the nice curve to the structure here, nice kind of steep element. I do kind of find these angles are often kind of hard to do in the game, in my opinion, especially as you get from one all the way down to something else, and to make it fill in cleanly, and I think it's done really well in this instance. Lots more little bits and pieces here, cool walkways. I love the supports on this one. More of the pipes coming down here also, I guess, putting this void back into whatever kind of dump this is down here. A lot of just little hints of pieces and parts coming through here. And we've got this, like, track ride here, rover test course, I guess it is, which is kind of fun. So it's using the speeder bikes, or hover bikes, I guess, and winds its way through the whole thing, which I think is kind of nice. And then we have this monorail too, which the blue is a cool choice, just because it really offsets, stands out from purple and pink. We've got the bumper boats down here. This is the rovercraft mission, so going all throughout this whole kind of alien world, I guess. Got this big digger here that's pulling up some of that void as well. Really a lot of interesting mining operations underway, I suppose. A couple more rides higher up too. We've got this Void Planetary Navigator ride. We've got this pretty cool, like, Armillary type planetarium looking thing going on here. Some really interesting little details as well. Love the color of the glass and everything. And all these different little platforms that could theoretically be for some kind of a ship landing down here. Using the monorail here for some scenery here, some movement. Here is one of those ships going around, so we get that going down for a landing, which is pretty neat. This is pretty cool here. So this is, if you pick this up, we have the Atlas Space Elevator heading up to the space station up above. So I think this is really kind of neat just to see this floating up above everything, and against the black background, I think it just looks really nice, especially with the dark blue solar panels and everything. Got this guy out here, CC9, looking for lost tiles. What I love about this is this was the thumbnail for the park when it was released, so it was just this, and there was absolutely nothing around. It's kind of neat because it really leaves a lot the imagination of what are you getting into, and kind of helps the just hammer home the vastness of the whole thing. Spin back around a little bit here, just because there is a lot of these little cutaway details and everything. Lots of cues going through here. I do like when the cues kind of wind their way through all sorts of stuff, because then you get the people standing in there, and this is just a pretty cool catwalk here. So different texture than the metal pieces, but actually I think this tile looks really nice, and using those orange handrails and everything really makes everything pop out. You know, it's one of those things, again, I'm harping back to color, but color is really what stands this one out from a lot of base maps that I've seen, to be honest, just because it really does a nice job at using the you know, interesting colors that you wouldn't necessarily see normally in real life, but you know, it really highlights it, like all the safety orange for the rails and everything. It's just a really nice look in general. So big fan of that, and then all these other architectural details kind of adding to that. So it's just a nice kind of bright, vibrant, you know, cheery maybe isn't the word, considering that this is, you know, some subject testing on things, but it's just really nice and vibrant, which I think I appreciate. So very well done on this one. Lots of little things to check out if you want to get in here and really search on kind of a closer level to some of the things that I missed. Wow, this building here just right finish. I love these curves and the way that that's stacked. But I'm going to provide a link to the download for this, of course. It'll be in the description. You do need Open RCT2 to view this, but you can get both of those in the link below. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Next up, we will look at the opposing part for this match. But until next time, hope you all enjoyed this review, and we'll see you next time.